Hello. Today we want to learn how to replace a character from League of Legends with another model. First of all, create a folder with whatever name you want, and then open Obsidian. Extract your champion's whole WAD client. Keep in mind to always extract the whole WAD to avoid future errors because of missing files. A good tip is to first look into a champ's HUD folder to identify the number of the skin you want to edit. In this tutorial, we will go with Katarina's fairy skin, which is number 48. Now open Maya and let's start with the remodel. Let's go through some Maya basics first. You can rotate the camera by pressing Alt and left mouse button combined. You can zoom in and out by simply scrolling with the mouse wheel. You can move the camera by pressing Alt and middle mouse button combined. This is called a group, and inside this group are our meshes. Meshes are simply 3D objects. The purple symbols are our bones. The bones move our mesh, same as the bones we have in our body. You can scale a mesh by pressing the R button on your keyboard and pulling on the colored symbols. Press E to rotate the mesh. Press W to move the mesh. Maya has several editing modes that let you work with your 3D model in different ways. Each mode lets you select and manipulate different parts of a mesh. Object mode F8 lets you select and move the entire object or group. Vertex mode F9 lets you select and move individual points, vertices, on the mesh. Edge mode F10 lets you select and modify the edges, lines between vertices. Face mode F11 lets you select and edit full faces, polygons of the mesh. Open the main folder of your skin and drag and drop the .skll and .skin into Maya. Click on Lightning and turn on two-sided lightning. After that, click on this symbol to show bones through your mesh. Open the group and select all meshes. Quick tip, you can press left mouse click on the first mesh, and then with shift pressed and left mouse click, the last mesh to select everything combined. Now press Ctrl+H to hide the meshes. Now go to the place where your downloaded model is saved. Drag and drop your downloaded model into Maya. Now we check if the model has separated materials. This is important for later when we combine the UVs and textures. Go through the meshes and check if they are not duplicated. In this case, I had a duplicated mesh and I simply deleted it by pressing backspace. Now we scale our downloaded model so it's the same size as our bones. The best way to check it is by looking at the shoulders while scaling. Start to rotate the bones to make them fitting to the model. Keep in mind, don't use W or R to align the skeleton. This would lead into animations breaking and weird bending. So prefer to use E to align the skeleton. While aligning the skeleton, watch from every angle and rotate the camera as much as you can. The more in the middle the bones are, the better it will look afterwards. Now, instead of moving the bones with W to align them with the arm, I'd rather scale the mesh to make it fit the arm. This is something you can skip if your bones perfectly align to the bones. I pressed F11 to go into face selection mode, selected the faces of the arm, pressed B to enable soft selection, and simply moved it. Start aligning the fingers. Feel free to use W to move finger bones. Now the part where many people struggle begins, the weighting. Weighting in Maya controls how much a part of the mesh moves when a bone moves. For example, when you move the arm bone, the arm part of the mesh moves with it. If the weighting is bad, the wrong parts, like the chest or hand, might move too. This is something we don't want. That's why we need to adjust the weighting after we bound the mesh to the bones. In this tutorial, I first bound the top part of our model's head to the head bone, so we simply save time by avoiding adjusting weighting. Press Ctrl and left click on the head mesh, and then press Ctrl and left click on the head bone. We press Control to select them together. Then go to Rigging, Skin, and open the Bind Skin options. Copy my settings and make sure to have only selected joints selected while binding. This prevents other unnecessary bones, like buff bones, from moving the mesh. Don't forget to click on Apply. Now our head bone is moving the head mesh. We select the other meshes while pressing Control and left-clicking, and then we only select necessary bones also by Control left-clicking. Binding only necessary bones is very important and makes things much easier. After selecting the bones in the mesh, go back to Rigging and Skin and click on Bind Skin. Now you can move your bones and the bones will also move the mesh. Now let's go to Windows General Editors and Tool Settings and apply the Tool Settings window to the right bar in Maya. Move the arm bone and click on Skin and Paint Weights. After that, you press on the Tool Settings window to open our weighting menu. Press on the group and select the arm influence by holding right-click on the upper arm and pressing Select Influence. Click on this symbol and then on Use Color Ramp to display the colors. In weight painting, colors show how strong the connection between the mesh and a bone is. Red-white means full influence, 100%. The mesh moves completely with the bone. Yellow/orange means partial influence, around 50 to 75%. The mesh moves, but not fully. Blue means little or no influence, 0 to 25%. The mesh barely moves or doesn't move with the bone at all. The color helps you see how much each part of the mesh will follow a bone when it moves. Now back to our model, where we moved the arm before. Let's start to adjust the weighting. Weighting is a process which needs to be learned by gaining experience. This is just a simple showcase on how to weight paint, and you should definitely also watch a professional tutorial for this part. Press Shift+H to unhide the daggers. For the daggers, only select the weapon bone and the dagger and bind them. In the next step, we will edit the UV. The UV is the blueprint that connects a 3D model to a 2D texture. We will move and organize the UVs into corners to combine textures correctly. Press on this symbol and select a mesh. Press F11 to go into face selection mode and select the UV of the mesh. Click on the corner symbols and move the UVs into different corners so the UVs stop overlapping. Go into your photo editing software and drag the textures into it, then create a new project. Keep in mind to only create image sizes like 512 by 512, 1024 by 1024, or 2048 by 2048. Start to move the 2D textures into the same corner as your UV is located. Save it as DDS and remember to choose the correct compression BC3/DXT5. Go to Windows, Rendering Editors, and open Hypershade. Do the same as we did with the tool settings. Open Hypershade and click on Textures. Drag and drop the DDS texture into Maya. Press F8 and select the mesh, and with right-click, click on the texture and select Assign Texture. If the texture is transparent, simply right-click on Transparency and choose Break Connection. We also need to reverse the normals, otherwise our model will be invisible or see-through in-game. Select the mesh, go to Modeling, Mesh Display, and choose Reverse. Open Katarina's group and press middle mouse button to drag the daggers into our model's group. Now it's important to select the group, then click on Export Selection. Save the file as a .skn file and give it the exact same name that the original .skl and .skn files had before. Now replace all the files. Also rename the texture we made to the original texture name. Put the folder into CSLOL and go in-game to test.
Going back.
Looks shit, to be honest. Thanks for watching anyways.